sanctions. And Russia was like, all right, well, we got to do something. So they basically took Donbass Lugansk, all right, where they declared an autonomous region legally, and then they moved peacekeeping troops in, right? And then the West started to sanction Russia. And here's a family reuniting. Friends and families, oh my gosh. So sad. Like, I feel so bad for Ukrainian people. Like that, the actual people like this. This is what I feel bad for. I don't feel bad for Russia or the oligarchs or, you know, people in office, Joe Biden, you know, like, I feel bad for these people. Like, these people on the ground, you know. I don't know if it's like a mom and daughter who are scared, you know. But these are the people I feel bad for, you know. You know, so I think when the West started sanctioning Russia and Germany cut Nord Stream 2, which is a huge project, it's like $1 billion gas line project, then Russia was like, all right, well, you sanctioned us, now we got to do something, because what else are you going to do? Like, if you sanctioned us already, so we might as well do something, do more, because what else are you going to do? I think now Russia is testing the West to see how they're going to respond. Are they going to send military? Are they going to start a World War III? Because remember this, guys. If World War III starts, if the West sends military, sends missiles to Russia, or to here, World War III is going to start. It's not going to be good for anybody. We have 15,000 people on here. Thank you guys so much. What do I personally think is going to happen if I was going to predict? So first off, there's not enough information. Things are going to change so fast the next hours and days. Watching from Canada, you think, Graham, our emergency measures act just ended. Are you guys in martial law? Yeah, I think, I don't know if we are, but we probably are in, so what is martial law, all right? It's basically when the military has full power and doesn't need to go through, like, you know, their version of Congress or whatever it is to get things done. I don't know if that's started yet, but I understand. Is Bald safe? Looks like he's in Ukraine as well. Yes, I can confirm Bald is safe. I spoke to him an hour ago. He is in Ukraine. I can't tell you where, but he's safe. I can say that. So, I can also say he had a very crazy day yesterday. But it's crazy for everyone in Ukraine right now, so that's all I can say. So, I mean, honestly, right now, nobody actually knows what's going to happen, right? I think either the chances are Russia will just continue, like maybe the West and NATO will say, okay, you know what? Let's have talks now. Let's make it official. Ukraine will never join NATO, and then hopefully everything will stop. That's one possibility. Another possibility is the West says, you know, no, screw you, Russia. Let's have war, and then there's a full-on war conflict, and then World War III starts, literally, because if the West gets involved militarily, it's not going to be Russia versus Ukraine. It's going to be America, Europe versus Russia. China will probably back Russia as well. So it's going to be full-scale World War III, and nobody wants that. I don't care what country you live in, whether it's Poland or Germany or even America, nobody's going to be safe then. It's going to be really bad. All right. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Nobody wants that to happen. All right. Let me walk back. this direction a bit. As far as me staying in Ukraine, in Kiev, yeah, I took that gamble, right? I knew there's a 95% chance nothing would happen. And the 5% chance that something does happen, that physically I'll probably be safe, right? I don't see why I wouldn't be. Unless, you know, there's literally bombs and tanks here in Maidan, which I still believe the chance of that is very, very tiny. Like, even today, with all this stuff going on, and you guys can call me delusional if you want, the chances of here having Russian tanks and military in central Kiev destroying buildings, killing civilians, is very small. I still think it's a 1% chance. And let me be clear, like, I know it sounds insane. I know that sounds insane because Russia has bombed many cities in Ukraine. They're moving tanks in. But even then, even with that information, the chances of there being like warfare, Call of Duty style warfare on the streets, tanks, people shooting here in the city center in Kiev, or really like outside of any kind of military place, it's very small. It's still like 1%, you know, like Jose Diaz, stay safe, guys, from Orlando, thank you for that. I know that sounds stupid, right? But who knows, right? And the thing is, at the end of the day, 1% is still pretty high, right? Like, it's not like zero. But at the same time, I know I have a 1% chance of dying in a car crash, right? So, it's calculated risk, right? Should I have left? If I knew this would happen, yeah, I would have left last week. But the problem is nobody knew. And for everyone thinking, like, yeah, like, you know, but it was over the news, you know, we got emails from the embassy. The embassy moved. Yeah. But the problem is, they've been saying that for months now. And if I had left 3 months ago, as I said, I would have came back already by now. Because I would have been like, it's been 3 months, nothing's happened. I would just come back. Because after, like, they said on the 16th, which was last week, that's when Russia would invade. And they said, okay, it'll be before the 21st for sure. Or, you know, before, I don't know what day today is, but basically, like, before the end of the weekend, right? So, 3 days ago, that was the day. And last week, that was the day. And the thing is, there are still millions of Ukrainians who are just living here. And you can't tell all of them to leave. Right? A lot of people have nowhere to go. They don't have the money to leave. So as long as, you know, supermarkets like Atabe are still working, there's still water, heating, gas, electricity, then I'm going to stay. Alright? At the end of the day, whose fault is it that's happening? It's Russia's fault, right? Like, nobody wanted this. Like, it's so funny that people think that I'm defending Russia. I'm not. Like, I don't want fucking Russia to do this. Like, if Putin, if you're watching this, stop. Like, stop doing this. We don't want you doing this. All right? You're a bad person for doing this. All right? But the question is, like, we can't just say, like, oh, screw them. We need to understand what they want. And that's the only way to have peace in this world, right? Like, you can't just hate your enemies. You can't just hate other countries. You need to understand from their point of view, too. So even though it's not right what they did, I understand why they did it. Because you have to put yourself in Putin and Russia's shoes. They know that they're losing power, and they know that things are getting worse, their economy. They know that, like, their livelihood, their territory, their safety is going to get worse and worse in the next, you know, upcoming years as they lose power, as Ukraine, you know, gets closer and closer to the West. All right. So from Putin's point of view, he's kind of like, well, we can either get screwed and lose power, and and have Russia just kind of slowly dwindle away, or they can do something, and something drastic, and that's what they've done. And it's unfortunate that they've done it. I hate that they've done it. It's sad that the Western media basically took this conflict and blew it up so much, because honestly, if the West never got involved, it would have just been a conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and they would have dealt it by themselves. Jose Diaz, stay safe. Greetings from Orlando. Thank you very much for that. Like, think about it. If the West never got involved, and Ukraine and Russia would have just had a talk saying, okay, you don't want us joining NATO, what do we get for that? And this wouldn't have happened. The reason why it got so blown out of control is because it became a worldwide problem, because the Western media blew it up, and then the West was forced to get involved. Ethan Gray, watch from Canada. Our emergency measures act just ended. Are you guys on martial law? I think we saw that earlier. We're not. I don't know. I don't know if they've declared martial law officially, but normally in these circumstances, yes, they will. I was actually in Thailand during martial law. I think it was in, I don't remember the year now, but there were literally tanks on the street, and the military coup had taken over. So I've been through this before. I wasn't worried then, and I'm not too worried now, right? I'm not 0% worried. That would be silly, right? But as I was trying to show you guys, and kind of the purpose of the stream is, things are bad, but they're not as bad as mainstream news is making it. Like, I bet you if you only watched news channels, you would think that the streets right now, these buildings would just be completely destroyed. But the fact is, people are still going to work. Things are still opening. Nobody's starving. Like, literally, if you want a kebab or lavash, you can still get it. There's a lot of people with bags and suitcases, so the people are leaving. It's a very uncomfortable, bad time for Ukrainians. Like, I feel so bad for Ukrainians. It sucks. Like, Putin, go home, please. Like, stop it, all right? Please stop it. Please have some kind of agreement with Ukraine and with NATO, but this never happens again. And it's unfortunate that it is. I don't really know what the solution is, because here's the problem is, Nord Stream 2 and these sanctions were basically what was holding it. That was kind of like the whole thing, where that was the deterrent. The West never said, Russia, if you don't go, if you don't go away, if you don't back down, we're gonna come attack you physically. The West has always said, we'll put heavy sanctions and possibly cancel Nord Stream 2. When the West has done that already, that was basically all of our tools in our defense. So what is left, right? Are there going to be casualties? Yes. Are most of them going to be military? Yes. All right, most of them are not going to be civilian casualties. All right, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. But with war, it's always unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen, right? But today's not the day to try to leave Ukraine, because as I'll show you in another video, or as you can probably find somewhere, it's insane trying to get out of the city right now. It's like miles and miles and miles of cars and traffic, so it's not going to be easy to leave. But people are ready. Like, people are preparing, right? There's soldiers getting ready. The Ukrainians are tough people. They will fight for this country. There's very few pro-Russian people living outside of the east of Ukraine. So in Luhansk, Donbass, there's a lot still, all right? And that's why they were able to take it. But in Kiev,